Let's just start with our opening prayer. O Great Spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my Father, my Mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives, and we thank you for these good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships with one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Ahom, Amen, Namaste. Okay, so I have a different mini baby oracle card deck with me today. It's by a lady called Jackie Newcomb, and I'm going to be using her oracle card decks today. Sachin said, hi, can I get a health reading? Yep, let's see what the angels have to say. We ask you to choose happiness today. So when this card comes up, we always, like, there's this focus on responsibility. And especially when we get very hurt by somebody, when we feel like our happiness is no longer in our own power, in our own hands, whether that's because somebody is emotionally toxic or because of the circumstances being so different than what we like, the universe kind of reminds us that there are always supernatural forces working in our favor behind the scenes. And if we keep the faith in those moments, it's not asking, it's not the same as asking you to be fake. It's asking you to be fierce in your faith. Choosing happiness is not about not crying. Sometimes crying is the most powerful cleansing that you can imagine. Okay? But the truth is simple. And when you really get down to it, sometimes you have to feel your feelings. Let me put it this way. When you're stuck in sadness, it's often because you've refused to cry, or you've refused to process the emotions and the trauma because you don't want to be in that much pain, right? Or because you had to be strong. So if you have to be strong, you don't have the option to feel your feelings. You just have to survive and get out of that situation. And that's very necessary in many, many, many toxic relationships, war zones. There are many, many situations where you having an emotional expression is going to cost you your life, or at least cost you the person who's harming you knowing that you're vulnerable, or knowing how to harm you more, or knowing that they got to you, right? So it's a survival mechanism. But if you cannot feel pain, then you cannot feel pleasure. If you cannot feel tears, then you cannot feel triumph, right? So sometimes when the angels ask you to choose happiness, they ask you to choose authenticity, to choose really connecting with your feelings, so that you have a chance at real happiness, not fake happiness, not plastering a smile on your face. So if you're sad, be sad. Be deeply sad. Cry, sob, journal, do a heart song, do some like deep breath work or primal releasing exercises, do some chair work where you express your toxic feelings towards whoever hurt you, but get it out of your body, get it out of your energy, get it out of your heart, so that the seeds of bitterness can't get planted and the seeds of trauma don't become a curse that gets passed down in your lineage. Okay, so that was the message that came, is that your health requires happiness, right? No happiness, no long-term health. Health is so connected to wanting to be here. And that's what happiness and pleasure is. Okay, I'm just going to send in the happiness angels to help you with your health. And then we're going to check in on Hira. Hira saying, hi, Sky. Can you do a reading for me? What's the guidance for this week? Let me have a look. Okay. Remember to take care of yourself as well as others. Remember to take care of yourself as well as others. Now, as I'm tuning into you, I've got guilt inside my like the bottom of my solar plexus, just above my my large intestine. There's like guilt sucking in my stomach, and there's this energy that's really showing me that you're. I don't know if it's a belief that if you use money, you're somehow taking it away from others. And that's very common if you have children, or if you have it, if you earn for other people, like you pay for your family to do things. This idea that if you spend, then others will have less, that's coming in so strong. I don't know if it's inherited. I don't know if it's from the situation now, but that's the belief that we need to clear. So just say yes and start breathing for me to release some of that guilt. We're going to call on Archangel Michael and Archangel Shamuel, who's the angel of abundance, to help you with that. Just going to witness it and have some of my pumpernickel toast. There's real shame here. It feels like a Sophie's Choice type energy. I have to choose between me and the people I love. And if I have to make that choice, then it's them. They get everything and I get nothing. So can I release that vow, please? And let's show you that it's an illusion. You never have to choose between you and them. The only choice you ever face is love or fear. And in that situation, when you choose love, there's always enough for you and them. And the question you want to ask yourself is, how can I allow more abundance? Not, do I have to choose between me and them? How can I allow more abundance? How can I evolve, grow, shift and change, as Vanya would say? There we go. Okay. Sarah's saying, hi Sky, I have a theta healing session tomorrow. Can I have some guidance about it? Any messages from my guides? I can give you some guidance, but I'm assuming that's why you have a theta healing session tomorrow. Okay, let's do this. Love yourself as much as we, your angels, love you. So this is a self-love wound. And the angels are like, they're showing, like there's a mirror in the back of this card, and you can see like there's material things on this card as well, and a white feather up here. It's quite interesting because I never noticed those three little children playing up here before either, but this is like, and it's like seeing a past version of you in your reflection, that you're not able to love. With like really withholding validation, approval. As children, a lot of us had parents that didn't validate us unless we were doing exactly what they wanted us to do. They used praise as a form of control, and we learned that we weren't lovable when we were ourselves. We were only lovable when we were living into the identity that they had for us. So if that's you, the angels want to help you with that now. We're going to bring in the identity angels to help you shift your identity to your true one, to your divine blueprint, so that you can really be yourself. And it's safe for you to do that. Okay. Okay, that's starting to look a lot better. So Archangel Azrael's coming in. She's the angel of grief. Nobody wants to do their inner child healing as a way of destroying their relationship with their parents. So I can hear the angels kind of going, a lot of people are blocking this healing because they're like, I won't criticize my mom, I won't criticize my dad, they did the best they could. That's not what your angels and God are asking you to do. Okay? They're asking you to see yourself. This is not about your mom and dad. When a child doesn't get what they need, and there's no perfect parents, that all of our parents miss the mark in some places, that doesn't change how painful it is for that child. Okay, for you as a little child, your pain is not evidence of your parents' terribleness. Your pain is your pain, and it needs to be, you need to be present with it, and you need to release it. Not as a way of blaming anybody or release or denying responsibility, as a way of developing your muscle for compassion and empathy and taking responsibility. You can't give empathy and compassion to others if you don't have empathy and compassion for yourself. There we go. There we go. Whew, that's moving now. It's moving beautifully. Okay, successful me is saying, hi Sky, can I have a healing for my PCOS and cysts in my ovary? Thank you. Yep, I'm going to call him Archangel Raphael. We're going to just ask for an instant healing. There we go. Now, cysts, PCOS, etc., from a genetic and energetic perspective, it's often when the woman in your life made you feel that you weren't worthy of true love, like you were only wanted for your body or for your sexuality or for your fertility, like you were a possession or a material good. And they taught you that that was the case, and then you manifested men that was a reflection of that. They taught it to you either because that's their own experience, or whether because they were jealous of you, right? It doesn't matter. It creates toxic relationships, and it allows us to lower our standards for intimate relationships. So can we release that, please? Okay, let's do it. Okay. 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 Lorena's saying, hi, Sky. What are my spiritual gifts I can focus on so I can best serve and follow my divine gifts? Thank you very much. Okay. So I've not even picked up the cards, and I'm getting visibility, visibility, visibility. So you're like the world's best kept secret. The card I've got is your angels ask you to be flexible and open to suggestion. So when I get this card, right, it means that you already know that you've been getting this message from your angels a lot. And you probably have some kind of unconscious bias towards social media. I was raised in a generation where I was taught, I mean, actively taught by my parents, that social media was a waste of time. Right? So it was quite a big hurdle for me to overcome. I was taught that studying was the best use of my time, and that social media was a complete waste of my time. The reality for a spiritual business is that marketing and social media and visibility is not just a huge part of how I bless the world. And it allows me to do so from home so that I can be with my son, so that I can have work-life balance, but also how I serve people all over the world in an international way, which used to be completely impossible, right? So especially if you're an introvert, you don't have to do videos like me. You can use slides. You don't have to show your face. But the angels are asking you to start showing your light, right? It's not necessarily your face, but it's your light. And that means that you have to start communicating. You have to start being more energetically visible. So I'm going to call on Archangel Gabriel, who really helps with the marketing and with the visibility and with the communication with the audience. Okay, that's looking good. Here saying, thank you for the reading. Every time I get more motivation to keep working on myself. everything, like, even if you came into this life with a clear karmic slate, you would create things to, like, you wouldn't, for starters, you wouldn't be incarnated if you didn't have ways that you could grow. And even if you came with a completely clear karmic slate, things would happen, right? That would give you space to grow into. So I work on myself literally on a daily basis, right? And it's a huge, it's not, it doesn't come from a place of fixing or perfectionism. It comes from a place of growing and taking up the space I'm in and being grateful for that space. If it's coming from a place of perfectionism, like it's relentless growth and you never get to rest, then you have to stop, reevaluate, kind of figure it out. Okay, Shruti's saying, hi, can I have a body scan? Do I have a message from the angels? Okay, so I'm getting immediately taken to your liver and to your gut. They're showing me you're having some sort of gut or digestive issues. And they're immediately pointing me to the liver being the real issue. It's like the gut is the effect and the liver is the cause. So things like milk thistle, dandelion, quebrapedra, and doing deep work on not knowing who you are, being blocked from self knowledge and from like self empowerment. Solar plexus chakra is very often about too much self criticism. When there's a huge connection between self criticism and depression, huge. All the research says Louise Hay was completely correct. And the way we talk to ourselves, particularly if we're very critical and hard on ourselves, is the biggest contributing factor to things like depression and anxiety, right? Far outweighs almost everything else. So let's take a moment, right, to see this as the trauma that it is instead of seeing it as something that we need in order to be honest with ourselves or in order to force ourselves to do the things that we have to do or make ourselves responsible, and know that these were just lies that we were told by caregivers, teachers, parents that didn't know how to teach us the skills that we needed to be able to achieve those things, or that didn't know how to help us achieve the dreams that we had instead of the dreams they had for us. Ooh, there we go. It's moving nicely. Ariana saying, hi, Sky. What is blocking me to reach my goals? I'm immediately getting self-belief when I'm asking the angels, and I can see a lotus flower around you. And whenever I see a lotus flower, particularly around the face or the crown chakra, it means the person has many gifts. And it also means that they've also already achieved enlightenment in at least one lifetime. So what very often when that happens, you have so many gifts that you don't know which one to choose, and then you don't really invest enough time and energy on one of your amazing ideas to make it work, and then you're onto the other one, onto the other one, onto the other one. So it's worth slowing down and investing in at least one idea to make it work. Okay, our earth angels will assist you, and you can see the angel here has got a staff, right? And the card the angel's in is quite dark, so they're going to help you getting out of this really difficult situation. You can ask us to protect the important things in your life, so you are not asking for protection and you clearly require it. Self-belief is blocking your self-protection because you don't believe you're worthy of good. You're not protecting yourself. The way that predators choose, whether it's friends or intimate relationships, the way that they choose their partner is whether or not you have boundaries or if you don't. They won't stick around a person who has boundaries. They know they know it's not going to work. They know that they can't feed off their energy, and they know that that you're not available for the kind of games that they want to play. So let's just take a minute to send so much healing to that little child that believes it's not worth protecting, right? And this is like a family thing, so let's release that too. Okay. Aisha, hi Sky. I'd love a health body scan for my highest and best. Thank you. Okay, so they're immediately showing me your endocrine system, and they're also showing me dehydration, darling. You need to drink more, at least 3 liters of water a day, and ideally water with electrolytes. So you want to buy like a really good electrolyte solution, things like magnesium, sodium, potassium. Coconut water is very good for this kind of thing. But you need to be drinking at least 3 liters of electrolyzed water every single day, clean water, because it's causing your adrenal glands to not produce too much cortisol, and it's throwing your whole endocrine system off. So you guys know I'm not allowed to diagnose. So if this feels right to you, you need to go to a doctor and get it confirmed. But we're just going to ask Archangel Raphael to do an instant healing, and herbs like rhodelia, ashwagandha, chasteberry, all of them are very powerful at helping you face the blocked communication. So whenever your endocrine system is blocked and your hormones are blocked, it means you can't say how you really feel. There we go. So if nobody taught you how to say what you really feel, you're going to be black or white. You're either going to not be able to control your anger, or you're going to not be like people please instead of saying what you really mean. So you're going to need to study some communication skills. You're going to need to study things like nonviolent communication. You're going to need to learn some new skills here so that you can communicate from a place of love and kindness and still have boundaries no matter what. I'm going to call on Archangel Raphael and Archangel Metatron to help you with that. Here we go. Gabrielle is saying, could you please help me with heart problems? I seem to have high blood pressure. Do you have any advice? Many thanks. Okay, so for starters, high blood pressure is not a heart problem. And this is one of the very big medication myths out there. High blood pressure is not a heart issue. What happens is this: if you imagine that your blood is like a river, and you think that it's not just a clean river, it's a river that has things floating in it. Imagine a storm, right? And in that storm, the river contains big bits of wood, sometimes branches, other things that are being carried along by the water, fish and things, etc. Right? Your blood is the same. It contains platelets, nutrition, your immune system, moving pieces, right? Your blood is not just this clear red liquid that we see when we cut you. If you look at it in a microscope, it's got lots of pieces in it. So when your blood is going through your arteries really fast, that's what high blood pressure means. The things inside the blood knock off the blood vessel walls, and they make cuts and tears and bumps. And then the artery is forced to put plaque over those cuts and tears and bumps, because it's bleeding. You're bleeding on the inside, right? So the first thing you do if you have high blood pressure is remove the salt, right? Get rid of all salt in your house and shift over to a salt-free diet, at least for a week. Within like 3 days, if you do salt-free, it will dissolve, right? The next thing that you want to look at is anger. So high blood pressure is keeping it all in, like bottled up anger. Thoughts moving really fast in a confused way. So you want to look at where you're bottling your feelings and emotions, and where you're telling yourself, yeah, I do have to keep doing this, even though I don't want to. I do have to keep doing it because they're right. It's this energy of like giving your power to other people about money, about career, about your future, instead of believing in you. But blood is communication, right? So high blood pressure. So you have to look at the places where you are, when you talk to yourself, you give people power. Okay. Or you give yourself power. You have the choice. You either say, yes, that's a great idea, that's going to work, that's $1 million idea, or you say it's never going to work, I was stupid to even think of it anyway. Can you feel the energetic difference? Right? And that then creates your biochemistry, changes your epigenetics, affects how you eat, affects how you sleep, affects your whole endocrine system, right? So it's that anger at believing people are right and letting like the seeds of bitterness get planted. So let's do a healing on that. One of the best herbs for high blood pressure is cayenne pepper, right? Grapefruit is amazing 3 times a day if you drink like a glass of grapefruit juice for lowering blood pressure. But salt is the number one reason. And it's because salt tells your body to hold on to water. And when it does that, there's more, not only is there more blood, but there's more things inside the blood, because when your body holds on to water, it holds on to hormones, toxins, other things that it would otherwise be getting rid of if that water was being released. Okay. Um, okay, so I'm going to do a healing for your whole communication system. I call on Archangel Raphael for that, and then I'm going to move on. Okay, Lorena's saying, oh yes, so accurate. Thank you. Lots of love. You're welcome, beautiful. Alexandra is saying, hi Sky, could I please have guidance and clarity regarding my primary spiritual gifts and abilities? Thank you very much. My love, I'm immediately seeing clairvoyance. So I don't know if you're getting like clear dreams or if you're like me and you just see flashes. Or like superimposed energies, but clairvoyance is definitely one of your spiritual gifts. And then clairsentience, which means like you can feel what other people feel. How you use that is unlimited. I've got friends that use that for healing. I've got friends that use that for remote viewing. I've got friends that use that for businesses and investments and things. But your gifts are real. And that's the biggest core issue the angels are showing me, is that you don't believe gifts are real. Okay, so the card that you got is our strong arms will hold you close and protect you. This is a persecution wound. Okay, this is a persecution wound. And it's coming in from other lifetimes where you were persecuted for using your spiritual gifts, or other people used your spiritual gifts to cause other people harm. So let's take a moment and do that. Okay. Gabriella saying, hi Sky, any guidance for today would be great. Thank you. Okay, let me have a look. Adriana saying, thank you, Sky. Sorry, Ariana saying, thank you, Sky. You're so right. I always have tons of ideas at the same time. I'll try to focus my energy on one idea at a time. So Ariana, when you have so many gifts, trust, right? It's easy to get confused and think God wants you to do all of them. Trust that all of them are abundant gifts. It's hard to believe that God would give one person that much abundance, but God does. God gives all of us many ideas, and there's always a stream of ideas. So ideas always go out into the collective conscious. There we go. We're back. Sorry. Okay, Gabriella, I had your card. You got the card. You deserve the best. This is a worthiness issue. Okay, I have a little bit of a rant here. You guys ready? Stop underestimating how toxic your stuff is. It's driving me insane. You guys are all like in this energy of, oh, it's just a worthiness issue, it's not that big a deal. It's an effing big deal. It will keep you small for the rest of your life. It'll keep your intimate relationships toxic for the rest of your life. It's a big deal. Stop playing. I don't know how many times that I've had to pull this card of people are not dealing with their worthiness stuff. And it's the core of women and humanity are darkness. Okay, I know most of you underestimate your light, but you are underestimating your darkness. Stop going, oh, it's not that big a deal. It's just some worthiness stuff I have to work through. No, 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 no. You're going to go, it's worthiness stuff I have to work through. I'm blocking out 4 sections or 4 swaps or 8 swaps inside my calendar if it's a particularly big issue for you. I am getting to the bottom of this. I'm going 1 chakra at a time. I'm going to do 1 on financial worthiness, 1 on worthiness of relationships and intimacy, 1 on worthiness of my inner child being loved, 1 on worthiness of really communicating and speaking my truth in all situations and having integrity, like 1 on worthiness of my psychic gifts. Stop playing shallow. Worthiness is not a game. It's one of those core of values that will block many areas, just like abundance. Okay, if you do not feel worthy, you will deny your good, you will refuse your good, so stop it. Okay, stop it. You guys are too important for this crap. Enough. Right? It's stopping your children from having the legacy they deserve. It's stopping you from helping the people that you came here to help. Stop it. Make the time and the space to go deep with your worthiness issues. If you have not, then this is like your sign, right? Your timer is up. Stop pretending this is not a big deal when it's costing you literally thousands and thousands of pounds, and the romantic relationship of your life and the quality of life that you deserve. Aisha's saying thank you as well. You're welcome, darling. Joanna's saying, hi, Sky. Please send a reading about having a baby. Oh, have I met my life partner? Those are 2 very different things. I'll do the baby first. I'll do 2 cards, okay? Baby and life partner. Baby. Oh, look at that. Look, baby in the card, baby doll. 2 baby dolls. Pink one and a blue one. The card is soar. There are no limits to what you can do. And the other card that came for you is everything will be okay. Try not to worry. So the theme that we were working on right before this is worthiness, right? And the angels are saying that I run a fierce fertility program. So that might be a good idea, because what they're showing me is that there are blocks here. There's like beliefs in your family that this whole pregnancy thing is difficult. There's beliefs that men don't like children. There's beliefs out that you won't be a good mom, that were all put there from before that are blocking this baby from coming through. But they're saying that, like, literally you are going to be an incredible mom, and they're really ready to support you in that. They're also saying that, ancestrally speaking, the belief that the man decides whether or not to have children with us is still very strong, and it's only starting to clear now that women are having children because they want them. And I know quite a few people who are in their late 40s now who are refusing to have children because they can't find the right person. And at the end of the day, if you want kids, you need to have them, right? And I don't say that lightly. I say that as somebody who, knows exactly how hard motherhood is with my little one. But, it's not someone else's decision. And the number of women I've seen go for what they really want, because in their heart, they want a child more than they want a partner. After they get the kid, the man instantly goes boom, right? Because when they finally believe they're worthy of a child's love, their blocks to love are gone. And then they're able to accept the love of a man and the love of a provider, because they believe that child deserves a father, even if they don't believe that they deserve a husband, right? Isn't that how deep this goes? So the angels are also showing there's some kind of fear of losing your partner or losing your child. So ask them to protect the important things in your life. Ask them to protect and to bless the important things in your life. You deserve it, right? You deserve it. Okay. So I'm going to call in the fertility angels. Archangel Gabriel works really fiercely with this. So does Archangel Ariel. We're going to call in Mother Mary as well. Mother Mary is one of the ones on my altar. You see, you're sitting here with her baby. So we're going to ask her to come and help you with that today. There we go. Okay. Gina's saying, hi, Sky. I'd love to become a mother one day. I'm 26 and starting a new relationship, but unsure how to put myself on the right path to realize that. And I'm not wasting time. Some guidance, please. Thank you. So the angels are showing me that this is like where radical honesty is required. And we are in a culture that very much teaches women to lie. Fire alarm. We very much teach women to go on that first date being sweet and lovely and having no boundaries and no standards and not scare them away, right? And basically what we're saying is lie to get him to like you, and then once he likes you, tell him what you really want. And this is just bad advice. Bad advice. Okay. So sorry, I'm gonna let them turn off the fire alarm. Have a little bit of almond milk and honey while we wait. Never a dull moment here. There we go. So what you want to do on that first date is you want to stay in your feminine, but you want to keep your standards. So you've got no business dating anybody that's not interested in getting married and having a family if your desire is getting married and having a family. So on your first date, or on your dates with a partner, you want to go on a date with them, or wherever, and then when they ask you what would you like, or what do you want, or what's the future of the relationship, you want to say, my desire is children, my desire is marriage, my desire is for this to happen as quickly as possible. And then you want to sit back and watch, right? A man that's ready for that will either say, that sounds really good, I'm thinking about in the next 6 months to a year, or in the next year or so, or will say now, right? Let's go choose a ring. A man that's not interested in that will tell you, oh, I don't believe in marriage, or why do all women want to get married, or I don't really want children, and is this really that big an issue for you? Do you not love me? So it'll become very obvious from that word, from those two desires, and that's what you want to say. I desire marriage. I desire children. You don't have to argue about it. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to convince anybody. Your job as the woman is to state your desire, and his job as the man is to decide whether he will meet that desire or not. If he isn't going to meet that desire, then you are allowed to open space for somebody else, right? Loyalty is for when you have the ring on your finger, not for before. So it's really, really important because women are doing this monogamy thing before guys have committed anything, and the guys are still like seeing not only seeing other people, but they also kind of using women as like their placer partner. They're using you and being with you until they find the right person they're going to have their family with, which just sucks, right? Especially if you're in love with them. So it's really important for you to state your desires, and if that person has no intention of meeting those desires, then you have no business dating them. So that's how you put yourself on the path to realizing that dream. You waste time and you waste energy if you're like, oh, and you have to be honest with them. So if you go, I want, my desire is family, my desire is children. He says, I want that in a year. I want that in whatever. And you say, okay, I'm going to keep dating until we're married. And if somebody proposes before then, I'm going to have to cut off all contact, because my desire is children, my desire is marriage. And it stops this fake engagement bullshit that people have, where they're like, you were engaged for 7 years or 2 years or whatever, and it takes all of our time, right? You just have to play it really honest and really sexy, because women are ashamed of wanting children nowadays. They're ashamed of wanting family. And people can feel that, right? You don't have to be ashamed of your dreams. It's totally okay if that's not what you want, right? If you're a woman and your desire is not to have kids, amazing, state that, right? My desire is to be with a partner. My desire is to have a life where it's just us, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's also nothing wrong with, I want the marriage, I want the kids, I want that. And what's happening is that we are being shamed for having a traditional desire, and men are actually deeply attracted to that, right? Because they want to know that you are committed. They want to know that you're the one that they want, but they also want to know that you understand your own worth, right? Nobody wants to be with somebody to be used for having children. Nobody wants to be with somebody because you're using them financially. They want to know that they're loved. So if you're willing to risk losing them, then it shows that you have a level of integrity, and that's sexy, right? If you're willing to risk losing them, especially if they're wealthy, etc., that it's really sexy, because it's what it says is that my dreams are worth more. Are worth more than anything you have to bring to the table, and that my integrity is not for sale, my soul is not for sale, my dreams are not for sale, right? So your job is to state your desires, and then their job is to decide whether or not they meet that desire. Do not allow anybody to tell you that you shouldn't have the desires that you have, and also don't allow anybody to pretend they have the same desires you just to get in your knickers, right? They either have the same desires or they don't, and their actions should match their behavior. Okay. But you might pull in a partner that doesn't have integrity if you've been playing that game already, where you've been pretending to want the same things they want, because guess what? That's a vibrational match for partners that will pretend to want the things that you want when they don't really, right? So if you're sitting there pretending to want the same things as your guy when actually you never wanted those things, you just wanted kids or you just wanted marriage and you're waiting for him to change his mind, you saw the bit where you loved him enough to sacrifice and to wait, but you missed the bit where you were trying to manipulate somebody and you weren't being honest, right? And that's what becomes a vibrational match for them doing the same thing. So it's clearing that energy. Can we just clear the shame out of your heart and out of your throat? All the places where you were shamed in high school, shamed unconsciously through the media, shamed through religions for wanting to have children, for wanting to have a family, shame for being traditional, shame for wanting to be a housewife. Anybody that said to you, you want to be just a housewife? There we go. Ooh, anybody that made you feel like being a mother wasn't enough when it's one of the most valuable things on earth. Any man that asked you, what do you bring to the table, that discounted or humiliated you around your fertility? There we go. Ooh. Any man that dangled it in front of you, said they would propose, they would marry you, and then just use it to hold you or control you. There we go. Releasing all that stuff. Any traumas around miscarriages or abortions where you were forced or hit or harmed or abused out of that baby, let's release it all now. Ooh. You're worthy of marriage. You're worthy of having children. You are God's holy daughter. And that will never change. You're not, what you've done is not who you are. There we go. Okay. Esme saying, hi, Sky. Any guidance for today? Thank you. Have a look. Woo! Oh, look for our signs as we try and guide you. So you can see the white feathers in a jar, right? It's this really powerful energy of we're sending you sign after sign after sign. I don't know if you're one of those people that keeps seeing the signs and you recognize them and you're like, yeah, I need a bigger sign. So I'm going to ask you exactly, I'm going to ask them what signs that they're sending you. They're actually showing me numbers. So they're sending you angel numbers. Yep, angel numbers. And it's when you buy things, they're also leaving pennies for you. Okay. And look at this card after. Look out for the signs. Coincidences are your angels communicating with you. Okay. Coincidences are your angels communicating with you. Okay, so let's do an instant healing. Your fear of your divine guidance. Sometimes our divine guidance isn't what we want to hear, right? Sometimes it's to forgive somebody that we don't want to have a connection with. Sometimes it's to take the risk that it makes us feel like vomiting in the bin. Sometimes it's to do the things that we don't want to do, to exercise, to eat well, to do the self-care. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, Maria is saying, hi, Sky. I gave a really bad pain in the bottom of my neck. Can I have some clarity and healing, please? So, neck is traditionally seeing things from other people's point of view. And pain, like when pain starts to mount in the body, it shows guilt. And it also often mirrors a painful situation in life where we are denying or avoiding how painful that situation has become. Sometimes we are in denial, right? We want the relationship to work or it's not working. We can't admit how bad a relationship with a child or with a partner or with a friend or has become, right? Because we remember how good it was and we can't face how much pain we're in now or how much pain they are in now, and then the pain manifests. So it's all, the neck is also about control, right? If someone puts their hand on your neck, they can, and they always say the woman is the neck, the husband is the head. So the woman controls where the husband looks, right? So it's this energy of the pain of being controlled. And bottom of the neck would suggest an intimate, loving relationship or somebody that's using your responsibilities to control you. Kind of like, when somebody gives you all the housework to do and then you don't have any energy to go out and see your friends because you're so drained, or when they don't help with any of the invisible load in some way, whether that's the home or the bills or or they leave you with all the work at work. This energy of someone in an intimate relationship um, misusing the amount that you help them or serve them, and it draining all your energy, and it being painful and you pretending it's okay. So let's just take a moment. We're going to ask Archangel Raphael to do an instant healing on this. And I'm being shown, like literally, when the moment I closed my eyes, I could hear Archangel Raphael whisper, trapped nerve, trapped nerve. So I'd go and see an osteopath and get your neck properly clicked in. And they're also showing me jaw because all the anger is trapped in your jaw. So ask the osteopath to click your jaw in as well. There we go. Okay. Lynn is saying, any guidance from me, please? Yep, of course. Let's do it. Gonna stay till 10 past because I was 10 minutes late starting, guys. Okay. Look for the signs as the angels try to guide you. Some of you have lost your connection to the magic. My husband, he used to take people on what's called synchronicity walks. And the synchronicity walk was just following signs from the universe. And before the walk, you would use a dice to choose like, let the universe choose a number, let the universe choose a sign, let the universe choose a theme. And then you would follow those numbers and themes and signs around the city as a way of getting you playfully back in touch with putting the universe in control. So let's do that too. Oh, guys, the crazy frauds are back on here where it's saying where they're saying they feel something special about you, and there's like a genius in your life, and to contact them for a reading. This is fraud. I don't do this. I'm here giving you the readings for free. So ignore the crazy. Please don't respond to anybody telling you that you're special as a way of using you. Serious energetic bitch slap moment. You can feel Archangel Michael coming through. Oh, I'm going to send them love. I pray that they heal. Okay. So you're welcome, Gabriella. Alexandra saying thank you very much. It makes so much sense. You're a really powerful soul, sweetheart. You're a really powerful soul. Trust that you'll be financially supported as you step into your divine life purpose. You're welcome, Gabriella. Oh God, this crazy fraud person went mad. Seriously, we're going to say it again. Archangel Michael sends you an energetic bitch slap. Stop trying to take advantage of people. It's crazy because you guys are so psychic. You're more than powerful enough to avoid people like that. If you're going to target vulnerable people, why would you choose psychics? I mean, what's going on in your brain that you thought that was a good idea? Hi, Sky. Will I be blessed with a biological child of my own this year, 2023, or ever? Thank you. Oh, card fell out. Okay, so this is like a stress management issue. Angels make space for peace in your life. Angels make space for peace in your life. So the cortisol, high cortisol dramatically affects our fertility, right? And I would go as far as saying that I've had 2 miscarriages. I would go as far as saying that both of them were deeply impacted by stress, right? So they're really saying it's really important to step back. This is actually a perfectionism wound. It's a mother wound. I recommend reading the book Will I Ever Be Enough, about healing the relationship with narcissistic mothers, and going deep into the chapter around the perfectionist wound, because you are not allowed to stop and you're not allowed to rest, and it's stopping. Oh, look at my throat, right? It's stopping you from communicating your needs and desires, but it's also stopping you from letting your body get ready, right? Pregnancy can be like a marathon. Your body needs to get vitamins and minerals and get really nice and strong. I had so many clients, at the moment I remineralized them, boom, their fertility just kicked in. I had one client literally hadn't ovulated in years, and I got her taking maca 3 times a day, and we remineralized her body, and literally 2 weeks 2 weeks of maca, she ovulated for the first time in years. And the doctors literally said they wouldn't work with her because she was too fat, which is a horrible thing to say, and it's not even true, but they were like, we won't work with your give you fertility treatments until you lose, it was like 10 or 20 pounds or something like that. And so she came to me and I put her on maca. We remineralized her. That month she ovulated for the first time. We were tracking with the little Mira fertility app thing, and that's it, baby here, right? So it's sometimes a lot simpler than we think. You need to remineralize the body, revitamize the body, and you need to rest, give the body a chance to rest. So many women are so burnt out, right? So burnt out. And whilst we consciously are like, I want the baby so much, inside we're going, I don't even have time for the things that I already have in my life, right? So let's just take a moment to release the heartbreak around the burnout and the fear around never having a baby. I'm going to call on Archangel Gabriel to just vacuum that off you so that you can be free to have your babies. Okay. Okay, so let me see. If she follows the guidance, if she rests, do we get our baby this year? I'm pulling, whoop, jumping card. We will leave a white feather for you so you know when it's close. We angels delight in helping you with big and small problems. God's children always hear the angels. So for me, that's an energetic, like, probability of around 85% if you really rest and you remineralize and revitamize your body. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm not a health professional, so please go and get the appropriate checks and the appropriate support with your fertility. But if you rest, you remineralize and you revitamize, that kid, from an energetic perspective, can incarnate a lot easier this year. Okay, Penny saying, hi Sky, can I please have guidance if a relocation to move to Australia is on the cards for me? I'm in two minds. Oh. Problems are usually opportunities in disguise. Can you sense, feel, or hear us? We're reaching out in many ways. So this card is saying you're not really listening. Like the guidance is coming in, but you're not really listening. Yeah, so the energy of these cards is I'm already exhausted. And when you think about the move, it's like, oh, I can't face the energy of that. I can't do it. What I'm tuning in is that go as a holiday first and then think about a relocation. There's an energy of needing to rest before you're ready to make this decision. And there needs to be some sort of a vibrational shift. From where you are right now, it's not a good idea. From where you are, if you shift your vibration, it might be exactly what you need. There's something to do with your health that they're showing me that requires more sunlight. I'm not sure if you're not going outdoors, etc., because you feel cold or something's changed in your nervous system, in your endocrine system, and they're like, she needs sunlight, she needs sunlight, she needs sunlight. So I definitely go and get checked for things like a vitamin D deficiency, and make sure that you are getting enough vitamin D, vitamin C, that you are getting at least an hour to 2 hours of sunlight every morning. It's essential for your health and well-being. And then once the vibration is shifted, then I would sit and meditate on that a bit more. But right now, I think you're correct. Right now, like the energy is so heavy. It's like, I just need to rest. It's too much on top of everything else I have going on. Okay. Hi, Sky. Would you please tell me what I can do to strengthen my enamel? I also tried hydrogen peroxide as mouthwash, but I can feel it burning. Is that normal? I diluted it with water. So there's many different strengths of hydrogen peroxide. I've only ever heard of people using 3% solution for teeth, but it's a very powerful healing thing. If you're experiencing burning, it probably means that you're using too much or the wrong strength, right? And that's very important because you can do real harm. So make sure that you're using the appropriate amount, and that you are being supported, right, by an appropriate health provider with that. They're also showing me that you have some kind of an infection, and that's what's causing the bleeding gums and the weakening of the teeth. So they're showing me to ask the dentist to remove the tooth. I don't know if it's been covered or if it's been left, but you have an infection in your tooth, and it's lowering the immune system. It's causing bleeding gums. It's causing problems. So I would go to a dentist and get an X-ray, find out what's really going on, because it needs to be sorted. Is it normal to feel burning? No, it's really not. It's like when I make my toothpaste, I use hydrogen peroxide, coconut oil, and peppermint and oregano, and I never have burning, right? So no, it's not normal. It means there's something off, unless you're using bicarbonate of soda with hydrogen peroxide, and then there might be some fizzing, but not burning. Okay, Monica's saying, love the advice. He knows I want all that, and he desires a life partner and a family too. I'm not sure if he thinks I'm the one for him to have it all that with. Well, that's something you need to know. That's why I was like, you need to say to him, this is what I desire, and then a clock, right? This is why historically speaking, a woman would come out. So there would be a ball, and a woman would come out to society. And they were so clever. People always act like, historically people were stupid. They were so clever, right? They had dating, and they called it courting, right? And what did they have? Dances. What does dance allow you to do? Explore chemistry, have conversation without ever making a commitment and without ever sleeping with somebody. Because you can feel the chemistry with somebody from dancing with them. You can feel the way their body feels with yours, and you can have that conversation, but you're not stuck there. The moment the song is over, You're done. You can go away if it didn't work for you, and you can find them again if it did work for you. And then they would go on like that until one of the men proposed. But there was nothing dishonest or cheating about a woman taking invitations from men. Watch Bridgerton or watch Pride and Prejudice to understand the process. There's nothing dishonest about it. It's like your dance cards or your call cards. Until a man proposes, you are allowed to go out on other call-ins or courtings with other guys. If a man feels like you are already married to him or that you are exclusive to him and he hasn't made a commitment, the chances of getting him to invest really, really slow down. Men are hardwired to hunt, right? So if you don't raise the energy, if you don't feel desirable, if you don't feel sexy, if you don't have options, that makes them behave as if they've already got you, right? So this is where you need to have that conversation as to when are you thinking, right? Because if you're saying you want the same things, when? Right? And if he says 6 months to like a year, then you're saying, okay, then I think we need to open this up because I want to date other people. If and until you actually make a commitment. Because look, my first boyfriend I was with for 5.5 years, and he kept me dangling with this promise. Okay. And so many women, I would say at least 20% of women have been with the same thing. Whereas, for example, my husband told me the opposite, told me he wasn't interested in marriage and things like that. And then literally 2 months into us dating, he got the ring. Right? So it's not about what somebody's saying, it's about their behavior. Stop deciding whether or not somebody wants the same things as you by what they say. Look at what they do. I've really learned this the hard way as a woman who dates, as an employer, as a mother. You have to watch what people do, not what they say. People can deceive you for years with what they say, right? But their behavior, it's much easier to see if they're actually in alignment with what they're saying they are or if they're not. So a man can keep you dangling for 7-10 years on, I will propose and I might be ready for marriage when. But the truth is, if he wanted marriage with you, you would know about it. They get down on one knee and they propose. You don't have to force a man to marry you. And if you do have to force a man to marry you, that's the wrong man to marry, right? You don't want somebody who thinks that they're doing you a favor, because that puts you in the masculine energy already. You want a man who sees you as the prize. You want a man who sees you as worth defending, worth protecting, worth providing for, worth putting his life on the line for, worth building for. And if the energy is of, I'm doing you a favor by marrying you, what it's going to get way harder when you have kids. It's going to get way harder when you have financial issues. And if he thinks he's doing you a favor, gosh, it makes my heart go just thinking about it. It's like you have to understand the level of responsibility that marriage and kids are, right? That guy has to believe you're the best thing in the world. Otherwise, you're going to have to hear him talking badly about you to your kids and all sorts. So this is what I mean by your desire has to be stated. Because when you're saying to me, he desires a life partner and a family too, I'm not sure if he thinks I'm the one. You need to tell him, right, that this is your desire and that you're going to keep seeing other people until he proposes. And if somebody proposes before him, then what's it called? You'll close off all the other options. But you can't sit there and wait for him to decide if and when he's ready. We're back to men and feminine energy. How feminine is that? It's like them trying to choose an outfit and being like, you wait here while I choose which outfit to wear. You wait here while I choose which girl. It's like, that's such a feminine thing. They're either into you or they're not, right? You don't have to sit and wait for him to decide. And if you are, it puts you in the masculine and him in the feminine. The man should be asking you and waiting for you to decide if you want to marry him. That's how it's supposed to work. It's how it's worked for hundreds and thousands of years, right? The man will ask a woman, and then we have the power, sorry to break it to you guys, we have the power to say yes or no, right? It's not the other way around. We tell the guy what we want, and then we wait for him to say yes or no. That's masculine feminine polarity reversal. Okay. Elizabeth Bruce saying hi from London. Esme saying thank you. You're welcome. Hi, Elizabeth. Monica saying thank you for all the wonderful guidance, Skylar. You're welcome. Beautiful. Gabrielle saying that's a good point. I doubt any of these people always spamming us would at any time possibly get anything from their spams beside wasting their time. Except for people that don't know me, right? Or who are brand new on the psychic journey. It's just the worst way to try and scam somebody. I was saying take folic acids. Yeah, that's why I was saying revitamize and mineralize the body. So folic acid is a vitamin. Yeah, you want to take all the so things like chaga, things like shallot, things like maca. They have all the minerals, and then there are quite a few plants, things like Agnus castus, things like what's the word? Oh, it's gonna Rhodelia that have a lot of the vitamins as well. But if you put all the vitamins in at the same time as putting all the minerals back in, the body starts to get strong from the inside out, and it makes a huge difference. Men can have low sperm count, so they need to watch what they eat too. And some men, guys, and this is important for you, some it's come up quite recently with one of my friends who's a fertility doctor. Some men lie to their girlfriends. They've already had the snip, and they don't want you to know because they don't want any to support any more children, and they can't get you pregnant. So 100% it's important to check both partners. Penny, I've just come back from Australia, and I felt a deep sense of loneliness and anxiety when I was there, and I feel tearful at times while in Australia. That's a past life thing, darling. That's a past life thing. So I would look at lifetimes with Australia, but the energy is of exhaustion. You need to rest. Um, Alexandra Moss saying, "Hi Sky, could you please assist me with any advice from my marriage and how to move forward for my and my son's best and highest and best good?" Okay, I have actually never given this guidance before, but I'm being seen that you need to pack your bags. I actually saw it flash in my head so strong. I don't know if you've already left or if but you need to pack your bags. I don't know if the marriage is over, but there's something about you needing space, you needing safety, you needing distance. I'm gonna ask the angels, but there's a rush here. There's some sort of energy of this needs to happen quickly. Yeah, your soul will grow stronger as you walk through life's challenges. So you're probably telling yourself you don't know if you're strong enough to do this alone. You don't know if you can do this alone. And the angels are saying not only will they go with you, but that you are more than strong enough for this. And that it's important to put your safety and the boy's safety first. Angels help you concentrate on only the good in your life. Sometimes when you want to change a marriage or you want to change a difficult situation, you have to get distance from it. You have to get space from it. And you also have to tell the other person that you mean business, especially if you've been acting emotionally weak for a while, if you've been letting them call all the shots, um, if you've been letting them control your decisions and it's been working, they need to like one of the ways that women keep men in line is jealousy. And I'm not talking the dark kind of jealousy. It's the man knowing without you saying a word that if you needed protection, if you needed providing, if you needed somebody to defend you, that you would have somebody. I'm not talking about texting other men or anything like that. I'm talking about just you walking through a grocery store or a park and a few other guys looking at you, or that sends a message without you having to say a word that if he crosses that line, you will be taken care of and you will be protected, and like you will be defended, right? When you go through enough emotional abuse or physical abuse, you stop taking care of your body, you stop taking care of yourself. And then what happens is you stop getting those looks. Your worth genetically kind of goes down because men are looking for women who are healthy. And when he sees that other men are kind of looking at you, not noticing you there, he's like, oh, she's invisible. If anything happens, then I can kind of get away with it, which is horrible and dark, but this is the shadow, right? It's the nasty unconscious shadow part. So sometimes we need to like reassert that we have free will, and that we said that we were in this marriage and in this union for better or worse, but that requires you to be treated with love and understanding and kindness, and that you're not available for emotional abuse, you're not available for financial abuse, you're not available for control. And that if that continues, then you are willing to walk away, and it completely shifts very often the way that they will treat you. Now, the trick is that you're going to have to battle, and it's not from a masculine place, from a fierce feminine place, and not just from this day forward. If you ever decide to go back into that relationship, you will have to like battle anytime he crosses that line, period. No matter how much they say it's not a big deal, no matter how much they say like you're making it they get the message. If they try and cross that line of putting you down or lowering your self-esteem, if you are not available for it, if you are going to stand up for yourself, they get the message, right, that it's unacceptable behavior. and they do it less and less and less. If you don't stand up for yourself, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, right? Particularly because you have young boys. It's what you demonstrate. Okay, it's what you demonstrate. So I'm going to call in Archangel Shamuel and the Romance Angels. I'm going to pull one last card. Yeah, we angels are helping you with your situation. We are parents and you are our children. So don't forget that you're someone's child. And I want you to sit down because I think you're giving yourself a hard time with your internal talk. I think you're sitting there going, I should put more effort into this for my children. If I leave, I'm taking their father from them, etc., etc. And the angels are saying, you're not the one that's behaving in an appropriate way. You are not taking your father from them. His behavior is stopping them from having a deeper connection with him because they don't feel safe, right? It's not on you that he's unhappy. He needs to face his own feelings, right? Nobody can make anybody else happy. Happiness is an inside job, right? And there's a real energy of remembering that you're someone's child. What would you say if it was one of your sons saying to you, this person is treating me this way? If somebody was treating your kids the way that you're letting him treat you, what advice would you give them? And they're saying that that's going to help you shift out of this deep guilt, which is then attracting more punishment. Okay, Monica's saying, right on. I thought it was because he's just 1 year older, 27, and perhaps it's too early for a man. He's in his builder stage. It is too early. Most men won't start thinking about fully committing until they're 30 or etc., because it can often take that long to build enough wealth to provide for a family. But I fully agree in my heart. We'll put this advice into action. Thank you so much. You're welcome, darling. Look, this advice is what got me engaged, even though I didn't understand it. And it wasn't even me that did it. It was my husband, right? My husband, because he'd come out of a very long marriage and, he, I think, was deeply traumatized. He was like, I don't want anything serious. I just want to date. And I was like, okay, because I'd also come out of a serious relationship. I was like, okay, we can date because I'm the same. I need to build my self-esteem. My previous partner had destroyed so much of my sexuality. I thought I was ugly. I thought I was undesirable. My self-esteem was in tatters. I was really attracted to my husband. And I was like, okay, just being with this person is going to increase my self-esteem. It's making me feel sexy. It's making me feel desirable. It's giving me joy. But if he's saying he doesn't want anything serious, then, I just came out of somebody that said they wanted something serious and they really hurt me. But if he's saying that, then we both keep dating. And we did until I went on a date to a wedding with a gentleman. It was my first date with that gentleman. And when I got back from my date, that's when he asked me to be monogamous. And that's when I said to him, my desire is marriage. I don't want monogamy. I want marriage. So I can't stop dating until I have a proposal. I'm happy to keep dating you until I have a proposal. But if and when I have a proposal, I have to, block you and cut you out. Because then that partner will be, the one. I'm serious about this. I've dated enough people. By that stage, I'd dated three serious boyfriends. I was like, I'm done with my heart can't take anymore. I'm only available for a serious, lifelong relationship. And he was pretty angry at that stage. And then, 2 months later, I that was it. So he did have to think about it, and I was still dating other people. But this is what I'm saying: like, you have to be the one that knows you're worth it, that's worth that kind of investment. And that's what the ring is. The ring is a symbol of a man investing in you, and men need to invest to fall in love. Right? If you give it to them for free, whatever it is, the love, the affection, whatever, then they think it has no worth. It's the opposite, right? A stay-at-home mom is worth between 100,000 to 300,000 a year minimum. I would say even more than that, because if you had to hire surrogates to have your children, etc., you couldn't. It would be in the millions range. So this whole idea that women are worthless, it's just because we're treating our gifts and our service as if it's worthless. You wouldn't take somebody that offered you a bad job, right? And this is a very long job. This is a for life job. So do you want to bear this man's children? Do you want to be with him in a war? Do you want to put your parents in the ground with him? It's not just about whether or not he wants to marry you. It's about whether or not he's got the emotional and spiritual maturity to walk you through the brightest days and the darkest hours of your life. And if the answer is no, God will bring you somebody that is. Okay. Let's do this. I love you guys. Alexandra's saying, thank you, Sky. That was spot on and life changing. You're welcome, beautiful. I'm beyond grateful. Me too. I love being here with you guys. I really, really do. O great spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my father, my mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives and we thank you for these good, good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships with one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Aho, Amen. Namaste.